about the chief of defense staff who spoke, over the weekend on the Benue killings. So I'll just read through. The chief of defense staff, PS, General Christopher Musa, blames inside sabotage for Benue massacre. He says troops were misled and also that the residents sheltered the attackers and gave them food, gave them even women. In his statement, he claimed that troops received false information from locals before the killings. He concluded that the situation is bad because of the insiders' involvement. Let's have the video. Let's have the video on the screen.
Troops are moving on operation. There are people that are monitoring them, tell them 3 vehicles, this number of soldiers, this number of this is what they are doing. People are giving them that information. People take food to them. People take even women to go and give them to tell you how bad it is and how sad the situation is because of the insider information. That's actual day that it happened. The troops were there. There was a fake attack in another village. When the troops moved in, that's when they now came in to attack this other one. And that's what happens because there are people telling them, okay, the troops are here, the troops are there. I can tell you consistently, if troops are moving on operation, there are people that are monitoring them, tell them 3 vehicles, this number of soldiers, this number of this is what they are doing. People are giving them that information. People take food to them. People take even women to go and give them to tell you how bad it is and how sad the situation is. If troops are moving on operation, there are people.
Back, we heard that from the chief of army staff. And my first question, I'm going to direct this question first to Chief Gordy because he already getting exhausted with these Benue killings. So, but I want him to attend to this. Now, the first question is, if for a fact the chief of defense staff actually realized that some persons were giving them women and food or public shelter, then it means you know the certain people who are giving these things to these killers, and at the same time you should be able to apprehend them or find a way to locate them if you can get that information. Because I feel like you can't just get information from thin air. There has to be some facts, of course, to back up his claims. So what do you think? What is going on? Why is he just saying this and not acting on what he should be acting on?
That's why I'm getting tired of the issue. I mean, we keep sounding like a broken record all the time about this insecurity issues. Benue is not Benue today. You are aware that it was the same thing happened in Kano, same thing happened in Brno. It looks like our military. I appreciate the work they do, but it looks like the hierarchy is running out of ideas. There's something they used to call intelligence. Where is the military intelligence? Even if you are being misled by the locals, I mean, and you know where they were, and you know those who gave them women, those who gave them food, then there is an alibi. You should be able to get someone,
Track them down,
to identify the people who have done this. You can't come out speaking like a helpless person who is not empowered to do his job. You are being empowered to do your job. You do your job. When we are facing the media, you begin to sing like a bird. It doesn't make sense. Up to today, the military or the police have not paraded a single person.
Very sad. Very sad.
Up to today, this morning, Femi Falana is blasting everywhere. Because the federal government, the state government, the police, the army have failed to produce a single person responsible for this heinous act. So somebody who has been empowered, paid salary by our taxes or from our taxes, and given all the necessary guns or whatever equipment
needed
weapons to do his job, is coming to speak like a Kennedy. It doesn't make sense. So this morning, I feel like the more we talk about it, the more we make the people of Benue feel sad, feel neglected, feel dejected. All right? So we can just, glance over those issues because it looks like this morning, Mr. President said, I have given the army the go-ahead to arrest and prosecute and deal with the perpetrators. In Kano, the same order. In Benue, the same order. I hope if another place, it will be the same order. And the orders are not being carried out. We have not seen anything. We have not been able to say, okay, these are the people. At least parade something. Let us just see something. Say, oh, this person can even give us an intel to take to the real people. We are not seeing anybody. You are blaming the victim. You are blaming. How do you feel? How do you want the victim to feel that you are blaming the victim? That they are the one giving people, women, giving them food. You are blaming the victim, and you get away with it. You see, these are the issues that when you wanted to raise that topic, and I said, "Can you just leave it? Let me have this generation call it mental health. So let me just
have mental health on the issue of Benue.
Either you invite me or not, let me disagree. I disagree with him completely.
Of course,
you see,
you will.
I don't like when people believe in performative appearances in the name of due diligence or doing your duty. Let's be more realistic. Security, you don't expect everyone to spill the bean because people need information to actually carry out certain things. Now I'll use Benue as a very good example. 17 local governments when Autumn, that's the former governor, when Autumn was in power, 17 local governments were held captive, and obviously all of those local governments, there's something particular. They have proximity to the river. So it's obvious that is how they do all their attacks. Now, from 17 in 3 months, it went down to 13, and now there are only 3 local governments that is being affected. You can't. I'm still talking. I didn't interject when you were talking. So I will make my point.
Okay.
Then thereafter, I will also interject you.
Okay.
Now the point is this.
Okay.
We have a governor whose sole responsibility, the first responsibility, why do they collect security votes? The first responsibility of the governor is to secure the lives of these people.
Sure.
Now, where many of us get it wrong is that nothing. I'm surprised why. I like that last week the NEC, National Executive Council, the governors met with the NSA and like, because if we will keep debating, if we don't take step on state policing, if we don't, the architecture at the moment requires. Why do you think they will always say the president has given a go ahead? Because that's the architecture for security at the moment. Even a commissioner of police still have to wait for the IGP.
Yes, await the approval.
So when the IGP, whereas we have locals, we have traditional rulers, we have people who live within the community that knows these people. But if something does not exchange hands, they don't see reasons why they should be patriotic. I'll give you more reasons. Now, there is more to the ethnicity, especially in Benue issue. I don't want to know. I know about the Benue issue very well because I go to Boko. There's Biliakon. There's this river. So I use every time, at least twice a year, I go to Boko and I use the opportunity to talk Benue so well. Now the truth is, you can quote me anywhere. There are close to like 7 major tribes, but only one, which probably luckily or unluckily, this sitting governor is also from that tribe I'm referring to, has been the one ruling. Now, you see, there's ethnic coloration. If you look at the Tortiv, the supreme traditional leader, when he was addressing the presidency, you will see that they understand the problems. They understand the problems. They know the people. I will give you another instance. 3 weeks ago, one of like 3 soldiers, although that's not in Benue actually, that was in Kaduna. 3 soldiers who people were looking forward to, that they work together as a team to help solve problems, were actually informants. Now, if you have insiders like that as saboteurs, why? Because ethnically they have a bias.
Yes.
Because some of their own people have been affected. So now we can't solve all of them if we don't change the security architecture. And can a sitting president use veto? Can a sitting governor use veto to send security? No. We have to look towards state policing. The state governors have to find a way to convince their own house of assemblies. Then when there's an executive bill, which I think is the perspective this government wants to use, when the executive now sends an executive bill to the National Assembly, they can now fasten the process because all of them are on the same page. But the truth is, are we also not scared that governors will misuse
the power.
The powers want. So everybody is not. So everybody's jittering, because if they have state police and they misuse it also, and probably sitting governors begin to witch hunt their opponents, then it will look as if the administration has also failed. So the pros and the cons. Does that take away the fact that we must we think insecurity cannot be solved? No. But the truth is, we need to understand that only state policing is the first step. Because in state policing, your traditional ruler, it's easier for you to hold him responsible. It's not just to settle disputes. When anything happens, they must fish. But if a commander who probably comes from Benue comes to Lagos because he has been deployed and now comes to talk to a traditional, there's a psych, there's a way they don't want to work. I'll give another instance to round off on this issue. I'm very aware, if you remember the bombing in Ondo State, the Catholic Church, something, when Makere Lulu was still governor. God bless his memory. God rest his memory. When I read the reports of how many of these people were captured, you will find out that so many of those that perpetrate these things, we think these guys are illiterates, we think these guys, they just do guesswork. No. Most times, many of these people put in so much work. In conclusion, one, until our traditional rulers feel that the security of their locality is number one duty
Priority for
them. And when it now goes out of hand, they know who, according to state police, are people from their tribe. You know, when you begin to look at local, it's some of the solutions and recommendations I read as reports, top secret reports from the Benue, they probably have to even redraw the maps to ensure that some communities locals can now dwell together instead of fighting over land issues. But all of these things are not things that the military or your even police, because we're even overstretching the military. These are internal security that the policemen are supposed to solve going forward. My first disagreement with Chief Godi is that you cannot say that the CDS is just talking or bluffing. And two, that some of the things that he has said does not make sense to us. I agree with him because you don't expect him to spill too much information. Number three, we will only have minor effects on everything we want to solve until we change the security architecture of this country. And lastly, we have to give kudos to people like Uba Sani, His Excellency, the governor of Kaduna State, who has, if you look at how insecurity was high during El Rufai's tenure and what Uba Sani has done, you will agree with me that we need state policing. When there's time to talk about, maybe some other time when we want to talk about Kaduna, I will give details of the approach of if I went ahead to even pay some of these people so that they will not stop attacks. But no, some of this money were even used to procure more weapons. Until we change the security architecture of this country, then we can have lasting solutions.
All right, Femi, Nami will go and change the security architecture first. we know those who are supposed to change security architecture. We know those who are supposed to begin to clamor for state police. But I want to understand that Femi does not reduce over 150 people killed in that community to a mere statistics. You are sitting down here telling me there was 6 security in 17 local government. He has reduced to 3. You have completely glossed over a life lost, over 150 life lost in one swap.
200.
I don't like the Nigerian population. We are over 250. Let me stay on that was the
borderline. Yeah.
We have closed over that. And you are telling a man, telling me that a man who gave too much information to, even saying that the locals were giving women
and food,
their women to the terrorists and their food to the terrorists. You are telling me that it's not too much information? Are you expecting the victim to feel by saying that after their people have been killed? Is that not too? If that is not too much information, I don't know what that is.
Well, we can say
I'm coming, please.
Okay.
I'm coming, please. I don't know what that is. All right. So I am seated here telling you that the military are not doing what they're supposed to do. When I was growing up, there's something they used to call intelligence. We know the odd bed in this country. If that kind of a thing happened in Akwa Ibom, say, I will excuse the military. Because you could take them unawares. You can take them unawares. Nothing in this country should take military unawares in Benue, Plateau,
Kano.
Bronu. It shouldn't. It shouldn't take you unawares in Kano. Those are the odd beds. And you are telling me, when you have military intelligence, so what is your intelligence? You are blaming your people for insider attack. Am I supposed to be the one doing the job? Am I asking the military to come and sit down here and analyze the issue for me? I'm a journalist, for crying out loud for me. I'm not an educationist. I'm a journalist. So I speak from the point of a journalist to tell you that these people, they know what they are doing. If anybody sit down in that place and begin to blame the victim, you are doing a very terrible job at it.
Now, I will cut in. You see, you can choose to see a cup as being half filled or half empty. It's perception. So I accept, but I will not concede.
So how do you
Let me make my point. I didn't interject you. I did not interject you. So let me make my point.
Let me ask a question, please. Because
but I have not given a reboot after whatever you said.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. My question is, as much as it's saying that it's giving out too much information, so what do you think the CDS is actually trying to do? That's the point. I want to get the point exactly. What are you trying to do? I do
not think the CDS is giving out too much information.
So what do you
think?
Now,
the truth is this. Who are the audience he was addressing? But before getting that, I will still want to insist on the point I wanted to make. You see, people, if there's a bus, it has an accident and 2 people died, and maybe it's an 18-seater bus and 16 people were saved. Nigerian media, in particular being a journalist, will probably have as headline that lives were lost via a ghastly motor accident. There is none of them from the journalist angle that will put an headline that 16 lives were saved, because nobody will buy nobody will buy, because sad news sells better. Now, the point of the perspective, you have to understand that the CDS, the intelligence agencies, will I'm a Nigerian, a patriotic one for that matter, and it's a slap on me if Chief Godi sits here to tell me that our military men are not doing anything. Their lives, many of them are losing their lives there. So now the point is this. The point is this. We all desire improvement as far as the security is concerned.
Yes. The
way forward, we have to agree that the military are doing beyond, because these internal security issues is even none of their business. We now have to do a lot with our police, and that is why I kept insisting that nothing can solve all of this except state policing. Now, I agree with him with the part where he said, are we the ones to now ensure that the state policing is done or probably achieved? Well, we can't do beyond whatever they try to do. But to have a lasting solution, obviously, we need state policing.
You know, Blossom, none of them had actually answered the question that you asked.
Exactly.
She just asked a simple question. If the CDS knows that there are people that are giving them food, giving them shelter, giving them women, why not go after the same people? Because
so how can you say we have not? I have told you the CBS should know if he knows the people that have given them information. That is an alibi. He has somebody. If you cannot get those people, get this one. They will give you a leeway to them. That is the answer. But I know that unlike Femi, the CDS is just talking. CDS should act. CDS should not blame the victim. You cannot look at people who have lost so many people, and you tell them that they weren't giving women to terrorists. They are the one giving food to terrorists. How do you want them to feel? That is not a way to make people ill. All right? My own is that if they know what to do, those kind of attack would have been stalled before it happened. Even if it happens, the casualty would not be so much.
Yeah.
Femi talked about a bus, 2 people died. In journalism, you don't just look at the 2 people dying. You look at whether the driver was drunk, whether the car was properly serviced. You look at whether
the tires,
whether even the driver was qualified to drive, whether he had a driving license. So those are the issues that we look at in journalism. We are not just looking at people die. It could be a screaming headline. However, there are critical issues that will be discussed in the story, Femi. So I let you know that. Secondly, I want to feel that. That's why I wanted to run away from this issue, because it is all talk, no action. As far as I'm concerned, I have mentioned here in the last two weeks, Mr. President has given this order in 4 states. Go after these people. In Plateau, people were killed, travelers were killed, murdered. Mr. President, go after them. In Benue, go after the people that planned the bomb. In Kaduna, go after them. In Ebonyi, go after them. Which of these people, which on all of these 4 cases, tell me one person that they have been apprehended. One person that have shown and said, this is the culprit.
Okay.
So you are sitting down here defending indefensible. No, what I'm saying is that the military are fantastic people. They are doing their job. Yes, we understand the situation in our hands. However, are they doing so much? Because if it's in my village, I won't heal. You won't see me in this studio coming to discuss with you, because I will be shedding tears when a community loses about over 200 people in one night, house burned down,
shops, businesses
destroyed, and you are reducing them to a mere statistics of 17 local government, 13, and now 3.
All right, I'm sorry, we can't react to that. I have a lot of messages from our viewers, and we have to move on. This one says, "Good afternoon, House. I asked us, let me direct this to you, Femi. I asked us, Ministry of Defense also make delivery to NEC?" This is Victor from Lagos State. Is asking.
Delivery to
NEC.
NEC is National Executive Council.
That's what he's asking.
It consists of the governors and presided by the vice president. Okay. But the one I referred to was that they had a meeting which they discussed about which one of the agenda for the meeting is state policing actually. So I don't know what you mean by delivery to NEC.
Okay, maybe you should explain more, Victor. Okay, I would read from Ozi Shuaib from Dokpemu. This one says, "I don't think we're ready to end insecurity because the last regime claimed that they know those financing them and failed to expose them. Secondly, we only hear several arrests made, but none is said to be prosecuted. Then, state police not yet commenced, despite monthly allocation increased. Lastly, they should approach Yahaya Bello, how he tackled insecurity during his tenure." Ozi Shuaib from Dokpemu. The only thing I see here is, for me, I feel like the CDS should not even have made that statement. Okay, take it for one. If you have made that statement, obviously, intelligently, we believe that you want to go with your alibis to get those terrorists. So invariably, you have just told them you're coming for them through those people. So obviously, to be honest, if I'm an alibi, I won't even, if I'm the terrorist, I won't allow the alibi get to me again, because you just made an announcement that you have the information that these are the people getting to such people. So it's as good as getting everyone still arrested.
He was the one that had the last thing.
The only thing is that too much information.
That's what we're saying.
I will interject if he talks on this issue.
Okay.
Allow me to give it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes. They are defending indefensible.
We're going to move